So what we get today is its lower control arm is bent. You can see that's not really where the tire goes. Come over here. Oh, look at that, it's right in the middle. Yep. We got us a problem. So what I think it is just a bent control arm. I'm hoping that we can just change just the control arm because with all the other linkage, everything's got some play in it. The only thing that would concern me is the strut, if that got bent over. But like I say, I'm hoping it's just a control arm because the ball joint's in there. Maybe it just kind of pulled it back because you only have that thin little rod in the strut, so maybe it's just moved. We'll find out once we start doing it. So let's get this up and get the tire off. So you can see we got a little bit of a bend in there. This is supposed to be flat. It is pulling the drive axle back, but I'm hoping it's still all right. Not leaking here. We have a little bit of an oil leak though. Huh. Oh, anyway, the seal ain't leaking. Didn't feel any real vibrations when I was driving it here, so I think we'll be all right. All right, so we got these bolts, these two, this one, and we've got a pinch bolt right there to take out, and then this should come right out. So I'll get the wheel off. I know that looks bent, but it's not. So, other side the same. So, yeah. Let's take the wheel off. Alright, there's one. I think that nut there is going to be a 14 millimeter. So let's get that off too. I'm just spraying this around the ball joints post that goes through where it pinches and then down in the groove. See if we can get it to loosen up. Slipped off. So if you get it spinning, you can kind of get it moving. You might have to drive it out with a hammer or something from the other side. I'm going to try to get it spinning a lot and see if it can loosen up enough to come out. It's spinning pretty easy. Once you get it spinning, you try to like just push it while you're spinning it, and it might let it run out. There's that. So that's out. So all we gotta do is get these two bolts out here, and this one out here. This is a 19 millimeter, and that might be a 17. So the rear one's a 17. I think that's a 19. So we got this pinch bolt out. So next thing we gotta do is we gotta get this front control arm bolt out, and then these two rear ones. So these two rear ones are 17. This one is 19. You will need a short socket to get that out. This bolt will not come out, so we're gonna have to do a little manipulating of the engine to get it out. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna loosen up these first, and then try to. We'll probably have to pull this out before we can get this out, just because the pressure we're gonna have on the strut trying to pull it forward. So we'll get those out, and then maybe try to, I don't know, we'll have to see how we get that out. But so yeah, we're gonna try to get these 3 bolts out first. Alright, so we got that bolt out as far as it'll come out. It's hitting the air conditioner compressor. You can either take the air conditioner compressor off. That is a stretch to fit belt, so keep that in mind. You can't just, I mean, I guess you can take it off and put it on if you get that rollover tool, but what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up this torque arm here. Take this bolt out, and we're going to rotate the engine forward so we can get that bolt out. Okay, that's a capture nut, so don't worry about that. I'll pull the engine forward if we want to. Pull that bolt out. Make sure you don't get your fingers in the way. That bolt is out. So I'm gonna get this off. And that's off. So we do have some play in that strut, so I'm hoping that it was just kind of back and we're not bent or broken or anything. We gotta get this out. It's probably just gonna be easy. We use a pickle fork to get in there. Don't know if I have one. Sometimes you can just get inside the groove here, a little punch, and open it up a little bit. And it'll come out. Depends on how much rust you got in there. A little hammer. That's working. All right. So here's the part number for the right side. In case you're wondering, the left side you don't have to, or the driver's side you don't have to tip the engine. It's just the passenger side that you do. So for the unveiling, It's all oily. So I imagine that's another pinch bolt. So if you get the Moog one, they come with the pinch bolt for you. So here's a side-by-slide comparison. And you can see, yes, it is tweaked. So we're going to put this in, and it does come with a new ball joint. The weirdest tape ever. A little protector for your ball joint. Want to make sure that's not on. I'll try to put it in. I'll get this tape off. Yeah. So let's go put this in. Yeah, let's try to get them all in at the same time. Is it rubber or something? Push that in. All right, let's try to get one of these rear bolts started. What's this about? So that's kind of strange. That's hitting. This is hitting there. You might have to get this on first because this is hitting your rotor. Did I just push the rotor ring on?
Well, it doesn't look like it's in all the way. Oh, but it's in.
No, it's. Concern is this is hitting. So it's hitting the rotor. That's in there. Clear. It was just kind of clipping the edge down here as it was going. It was mostly just hitting the dust shield, but we got enough clearance. So we got that in. So what you want to do to line this up, there's a relief cut into that stud, and that's where this bolt goes through. So what this bolt does is it goes through the relief that's in that stud, and that's what keeps it from coming out. And that pinches it, and that's what keeps it from spinning in the bore. So we got this started in there. I guess I would say put some Never-Seez on this bolt so you make sure it comes out next time. And maybe. That's in. The nut. Nut on. So I guess one thing we can do, we can put a little jack here, put a little pressure here. The problem is, if you have a bushing, it's set up like this because it's set for your normal ride height. So with this down, it's not going to be the normal ride height. So we need to somehow tip this bracket like that so we can get the bolt straight through the hole, because it's trying to, say the bracket needs the bolt to come this way, but the bolt can only go in this way. Try to put a little jack under this ball joint here, so we get that to rotate up enough to get that in. try to get this front one in first. That might help. That'll be helpful. So let's try to this to go. So go inside that bracket. Pull it forward. Keep going. Rotated it up. There it goes. Appears to be working. We'll put a bolt there. Fluid here. Is that? Let's see. Putting that up lines this bolt up a little bit better than it was. That's probably what the problem was having that side low. Wasn't letting this bolt go in. And now, yep, we're in now. All right, so we're gonna get this snugged up. That's kind of snugged up. I'll put that bolt back in, and we'll see what we got. Tighten that up.
How tight does it go?
Actually, don't tighten it just yet. I just want to get it tightish. Do that. I want to put this jack onto the ball joint. And when we tighten up this front bushing, what we want is we want that bushing to be in the place it's gonna be in at the ride height. So we're gonna put the jack underneath this ball joint and take the pressure off of the, well, I'm gonna take the pressure off of this front arm a little bit so the weight is on this control arm, and then we're going to tighten this and torque it. If you torque it with it down, it's going to overextend the bushing and it will tear it. So you want to have that torqued at the ride height so it has its normal amount of travel. With it down, it's going to hit its normal amount of travel. You hit a bump and it can tear it when you compress it. So that's what we're going to do with this. 15 and a 17, maybe. That's a 17. And that's going to be a 15. Let's go with that, I guess. Tight. So I don't think we have to worry too much about our camber, but our caster. We might get some play over here as a caster adjustment. So let's see if there's anything I can try to figure that out. So what I'm gonna try to do is, let's pick an angle or a spot. It's probably gonna have to be the same spot on both. So we got like kind of a flat spot right there on the strut. So I'm gonna try to use this one to get my alignment for the other one. Just have to make sure it's in the same spot. So right there I have 4.1 degrees back. So I'm gonna come over here to this side, go in the same spot. And right now I am 3.2 right there. Pretty sure that's where I had it. I might be able to go on that flat spot. That might be right in that crevasse. It does kind of change if I go back and forth, so we'll get it close. It'd be nice if I had something on a face. Maybe that'll work. Anyway, so I'm gonna find a place that is equal on both sides, and I'm gonna try to set my caster that way by shoving this back and forth before I tighten up these two rear bolts, and we'll try to get it as aligned as we can. I don't know if it's gonna be different on both sides, but I'm gonna try to make them equal. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm gonna do. I mean, if you could find a spot somewhere, you might be able to use like a smaller level or something, but try to find the same surface on both sides and align it like that. But so I'm gonna give that a shot, see how it goes. So there's two rear bolts here, 75 foot-pounds, and this one is 110. Alright, so we're up a little bit. Careful. It's going to be longer that way.
How did you do that?
I turned it a little bit.
I turned it too.
Good job. See how much play you get out of that when you let that down? Alright. gonna pinch bolt tight this torque, that torque, my torque on bolt tight. I believe we should be all set. I used the dust shield to try to align it. I really didn't get a lot of play out of it. So I don't know if you're really going to get a lot to begin with, but I ended up just kind of prying this over a little bit to line it up, and it seems to be even with the other side, so I'll go with that. Anyway, so let's get the tire back on. Normally there is a shield here. This didn't have it when we bought it, but it does kind of encroach on your work area over there, so you might want to remove it or pull it out of the way or do something with it. But I say this didn't have one, so couldn't really show you that step. So I'm going to torque these to 86 foot-pounds. That's that. That's how you replace your lower control arm on your Mazda 3. In case anybody's wondering, yep, it does need a new wheel. So, hope that can help somebody. Thanks for watching.